Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to install that block off plate for the AC heater box that I removed. So I got the plate off eBay. I'll put a link in the description so you can possibly buy one for yourself. They're fairly cheap and they bolted up pretty cool. It also bolted up to the original screw hole, so you don't have to make any kind of modification. Just set it on there and bolt it in. But when I say modifications, I'm wrong. You do have to make minor modification, but on the car, not to the plate. So let's check it out. This is the hole that I'm gonna cover. And remember, I was saying modification that you possibly need to do to get it to go on flat. Number one, you're gonna have some sealant right here from the AC box, heater box. So they use some kind of sealant. It's bolted on, but it's also some sealant going around. You want to try to get that off with a spatula so the block off plate can fit flush. And also, when I put it against there just to kind of size it up, I noticed this stud right here, obviously something is bolted in from the inside of the car, and the stud is hanging through right here. That's keeping the plate from going on flat. So I got a Dremel tool. One of the modifications is you're gonna have to Dremel that off, cut it off, make sure it's flat. And then there's also a grommet right here that needs to come off so that it can fit flat. This grommet is kind of, you know, of course it's pushing it out, so that needs to come off. And I don't remember about, I think this one is good, because if I'm not mistaken, the plate might go up and around this nipple right here. But if it don't, I'll let you know later on in the video. But I might need to have to take this stud off right here also with the Dremel, cut it off. But other than that, that's just the only modifications that I see that you possibly would need to do to your car. Oh, here's another one. It's a stud right here. So far, get the sealant off, the old sealant. Best to use a spatula, a metal one. I couldn't find my metal one. I'm using a plastic one, but this stuff is really on here. This is like 40 years worth of dirt and sealant. So we got a stud right here, need to get off. There's one more down there, need to get off. It's a grommet, a rubber grommet right here. I need to get off, and possibly that long one down here. So let me get to it, and once I'm done doing it, I'll let you know what needs to be taken off and what don't. All right, so check this out. I had a plastic spatula and that bad boy broke. Yeah, you know, so don't try a plastic one. I had a metal one. I think I left it at my parents' house. I couldn't find it, but anyway, I was right. You do have to, this screw that was screwed in from the inside of the car, I had to cut that off. That stud down here I was talking about, I had to cut that off. And then also I removed that grommet that was right there. So it was four things. It was, let me back up a little too close. Yeah, it was one here. The one down there, you could still see the shiny silver part. It was one right here. You can still see why I cut that off right there. And then it was the rubber grommet. So it's four of them you have to remove if you get the block off plate that I bought. I'm gonna put the link in the description, so in case you want to get one. If you get this block off plate, you do have to remove those four things. And since I ended up cutting it with a grinder. So I used a grinder. I had a Dremel. I don't even know that thing got. Where'd it go? Anyway, I had a little Dremel, but it wasn't acting right, so I pulled out the grinder. I cut those off, and since I had the grinder out, I went ahead and the sealant that I was telling you to remove, I knocked off some of that sealant. You can see I went around there and knocked off whatever little sealant I seen with the grinder. And it make things a lot easier, you know, instead of scraping at it with a spatula. I just went through with the grinder, so I saved a lot of time. Oh, and another thing, this hole right here, as you can see, it was a ridge. It kind of hang out, and you probably don't need to do this, but if you want a more of a flush fitment, this ridge, just hit it flat. And what I did is I cut slits in it, put a slit right here. Then as you can see, it's a slit down there. And then by it having a slit in it, now you can hit it and bend this fold back. So that got a slit. Then it's a slit right here. Now this piece in the middle, you can hit it, bend it back. And then over here, same thing. It's a slit. And then it's a slit down there. I didn't do that. I didn't put a slit that big. That was already there. It must have just cracked over the years or something. But I just hit it back to kind of get a flush fitment to it. Like I say, that's like extra stuff. You probably don't even have to do all that, but if you want to, you can. So and then with the it's still wrapped up, but with the block off plate, I have a carbon fiber wrap. I was gonna put it on like that and just have the you know, that it ain't polished, but it's like a brush metal look to it. But I figure I had this carbon fiber wrap that I ain't done nothing with, so I'm gonna try to wrap it. I've never done that before, but I'm gonna try to wrap it, and then I'm gonna put it on. So after I wrap that, I'm gonna put some sealant on it and then put it on and bolt it down and see how it turn out. So I'll be right back. Alright, I got finished wrapping it, and as you can see, it didn't come out as good as I wanted it to be. But it's good enough for me. Like I say, I'm not the type that be popping my hood and showing off what I got. And also, it goes along with the rest of the engine bay. Ain't nothing under here pretty. Prettiest thing on here probably my valve cover. But if you look at the firewall and the brake booster and, you know, the end fender well, ain't nothing under here pretty. You see all this kind of stuff. So ain't no need for me to be breaking my neck to make this perfect when nothing's under the hood is perfect. So it's good enough for me. It don't stand out like how it was with the when it was that brushed aluminum. Although I didn't mind. I could have put it on like that. I don't care. But I like the black a little better. Like I say, it don't stand out as much. So I wrapped it and I'm gonna bolt it on and show y'all how it fit. But I noticed too, this bolt up to your factory bolt hose, but not all of them. I noticed this thing on the car is like a bolt hole. It's somewhere around whatever it is. One right here. So yeah, maybe it is all of them, because 1, 2, 3, 2 up there. All right, let me bolt this thing up and make sure before I start talking. Don't know what I'm talking about. So let's see how it go. Here we go. I forgot to mention, it also says to use a type of sealant before you put it on. I was gonna use some silicone adhesive, black silicone adhesive, but I didn't feel like messing with this stuff, getting my hands all dirty. So this is some old weather stripping I had. I originally bought it for the trunk of the Camaro to kind of stop the water from getting in. I had some leftovers, so I just laid it on there and see how it seal up or whatever. But is it really necessary? Probably not, you know. So especially depending on what you're using the car for. If it's a weekend warrior, you know, you only drive it on sunny days, you ain't worrying about rain, and you're not really tripping about it heat getting through the firewall, or maybe fumes from the engine bay, or whatever the case may be, you really don't need to do this. But since I had this laying around, I just used it. So let's bolt this thing up. And I was wrong. That's why I shut my mouth, because I knew I should shut my mouth, because it's not good to speak on what you don't know, you know. So I was finna say it don't use all of your original bolt hose, but I was wrong, it does. So 2 over there that take the nuts because it was stud, 2 at the top right there. If 1 at the bottom right there, you can see the 2 right there in the corner. And let's go into the bottom. It's 1 at the top right there. The only one left is this one, which I have in my hand. As you can see, my wrapping, you know, this is the first time I ever wrapped anything, and yeah, you know, it's for the dogs, but it's all good. But I was gonna say, in case you forgot which screws go back, it's the ones, all of the ones that came out of here was the ones that had that little star twilight washer on it. So all of these came out of here. The only ones that didn't was the 2 nuts for the studs. I believe there was 7/16 too. So if you forgot which ones, go back in here. Booyakasha. Can't miss them. They got this washer on here. You know, yeah. So let me get this one screw back in and tighten everything back up, and we're all set.